right. Are we good to go? Check. Yeah, we're good. All right, man. What a freaking way to start this stream. Man, it has been absolutely insane getting this set up. So I've come to find out I can't go live on all three platforms from my computer. I've got to literally, these apps literally force me to have my phone open to do a lot of this stuff. So I can't get as like cool, I guess if you want to say, as you want with these live streams. I can on TikTok, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook, it'll let me do it. But Instagram and TikTok, which are the big platforms I need to be going live on, is getting on my nerves. So that being said, we're going to work on a workaround with that. We aren't able to go live on Instagram today, which is fine. But I do want to go ahead and talk to you guys about the 3 pillars of nutrition. This is a big like foundation of the way I teach nutrition with my clients. And it's honestly something that I need to make sure I make more content about. I've made a bunch of content about it in the past, but it's something that obviously we get new people in here all the time. And it's stuff that I know that a lot of people aren't very aware of when it comes down to nutrition. Let's be real, guys. A lot of you guys have no freaking idea what you're doing with your nutrition. A lot of you guys are very clueless when it comes down to nutrition, and you think that getting into the fitness game and losing 25 to 50 pounds is going to be about working out more, right? And that's a big misconception that I'm here to clear the road on for you guys, because that's not going to get you. It may help you build some muscle. Like, don't get me wrong, the workouts are very freaking important. But a lot of you guys are putting way too much attention on the workouts instead of your nutrition, and that's why you're not losing the weight you want to see, right? That's why you still have a bubble gut. That's why you still have love handles. That's why you still feel awful every time you wake up. That's why you still don't have a lot of energy, even when you are going to the gym 3 to 5 times a week. It's the diet, guys, and none of you guys are, a huge portion of you guys are not focusing on that at all. And I need to make sure I do more content on that, because this is something I take a lot of pride in, mainly just because I'm one of the few trainers that actually really prioritize nutrition. And that's something that does make me different. And for some reason, I don't know why it does. It's something that you really need to see results. It was very confusing for me when I was first getting into the personal training game, because a lot of personal trainers don't know jack shit about nutrition. No offense to the trainers watching out there, but I've been in the game for a long time, and there's a lot of trainers that have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to nutrition. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and be making this stuff a little bit more often, because it is very important stuff. This is something I go over with my clients, and it's just the foundational stuff, guys. This is stuff that you really should know when it comes down to getting into the fitness game if you want to see good results in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, if you want to burn 20 to 50 pounds, but also if you want to gain a significant amount of muscle, that's not going to happen without the diet. It's just not. It's period. Nothing you want out of working out is going to happen unless your nutrition's on point. Okay? It's just straight up the reality of it, guys. And so you got to make sure that you're getting this part down. So what are the 3 pillars of nutrition? They're calories, protein, and water. Okay? That's the 3 pillars of nutrition. Why? Because those are the main things that are going to dictate your body fat and your muscle mass. Those are the main things. And it's obviously going to contribute to a big portion of what is harming people when it comes down to anything fitness-wise. Right? What's killing people in the fitness realm? What is killing people because they aren't focusing on the fitness realm, right? It's going to be cardiovascular disease, maybe a little bit of cancer in there, right? And obviously, not to mention, broken bones, having osteoporosis down later in your years because you don't have any bone density, bone thickness. There's a bunch of other things we can go into, but the big ones are going to be cardiovascular disease, heart disease. What causes that? Being obese. Okay? What's going to solve that for you? Calories, protein, and water. You track that, that'll solve that problem for you. Okay? It is not going to be vitamins and minerals, guys. I love that you guys have that in your mindset. I love that you guys are all about taking your vitamins, but that's not going to get rid of the body fat that's giving you heart attacks. Okay? That's the misconception that a lot of people have out there. They think it's all about whole foods. They think it's all about getting your vitamins and minerals. And it's not like those are bad either, right? But they're not the major cancer-causing factors here. They do help prevent that kind of stuff. But you know what else helps prevent that kind of stuff? Getting enough sleep. Okay, reducing your body fat percentage, right? And you can't get more sleep if you have a lot of body fat percentage, because you're more than likely going to have sleep apnea. Okay, that's just the reality. And that's the thing that most people are not putting their attention towards, and why I'm making live streams on this shit, guys, because people have a big misconception on how dieting works. And guys, I am a professional in the field. I have been a certified nutritionist for a very long time. In fact, how long ago was it? I have the certification up here. It's in very small print. I'm not going to get up, but it's been almost a decade I've had my certification in nutrition. I have, obviously, if you guys are looking on the YouTube or Facebook, wherever, you guys can see some of my results. That's not even the leanest I've been, by the way. That's just one of the leanest pictures I could find when I was making this. I've been leaner than that. I've helped a lot of people shred, anywhere between like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds. I've had someone burn as much as 100 pounds off before. Like, guys, I've been in this game. I know how this shit works. This is my profession. I've been doing this a very long time. Okay. You got to stop putting your focus on eating all these whole foods, eating all these veggies, eating all these fruits. It's not helping you. Okay. It's getting you distracted by what's actually going to help you. I'm not knocking any of that stuff. I'm saying that is definitely not the first thing you should be focused on. That is not a pillar of nutrition that is going to help make sure that you're not going to be obese at 70 years old. Okay. We got to make sure that's the case too, because that shit will kill you. Okay. I see it happen every fucking day. And you can sit there and you can act like that's not a thing, but that just means it's not a thing in your life right now. But guess what? When you work in my field, it's around me constantly. You cannot ignore that. You cannot debate that to me. I see it happen in front of my face all the time. Okay. That being said, the things that we got to focus on are 3 pillars of nutrition: calories, protein, water. Okay. Calories. Let's start there. What do you mean by calories? Guys, what you got to understand about calories is calories are made of like 3 major things. There's a 4th thing in there we can kind of talk about, but it's going to be your your carbs, proteins, and fats. Those are your macronutrients. They're what mainly comprise of your calories, right? So there's also something in there that we all know. A lot of you guys love it. Alcohol actually has its own set of calories. It's not a macronutrient because you're not supposed to be consuming it. Your body interprets it as poison, which is why you get drunk in the first place, right? So that being said, if you guys want to know the calorie breakdown, for every gram of protein, you're going to have 4 calories. For every gram of carbohydrates, you're going to have 4 calories. For every gram of fat, you're going to have 9 calories. It's a very high density fuel, actually. That's why fats are, and people have a misconception of fats. You guys do not need to be tracking your fats and carbs unless you're like getting ready for an athletic event. And that's the only case. If you're trying to like get into shape, do not be tracking carbs and fat. You don't need to do that. It's an extra step that you're probably not going to follow anyways. And it's going to overcomplicate the process for you. Don't have to worry about that. Just focus on calories. Why? Fat loss and muscle gaining is a matter of calories in versus calories out. Why? In fat loss, you have to be eating less calories in order for you to burn off anything. It's not just fat. In order for you to burn muscle, in order for you to burn fat, in order to burn anything off of your body, it needs to have to be in a caloric deficit. If it's above that, and a caloric deficit just means you're eating less than you're burning per day, right? And guys, don't be using these stupid ass freaking watches to track how many calories you're burning a day. That's overcomplicating it. You need to have an average TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. There's free calculators all over the place. It's a good place to start, but you need to take an average of how many calories you're burning a day, not how many calories you're actually burning a day, and then eat as much as you want based off of that number. Those are horribly inaccurate, and they're going to keep you stuck for a long time if you keep using those. Don't use those. They're really bad, okay? Make sure they're great for counting your steps, right? But they're not good for estimating how many calories a day you're burning. It's just not great. You need an estimate, and then you need to kind of work around that estimate, right? Now, if you're eating in a calorie deficit, you're going to lose mass. Whether or not that is muscle mass or body fat is going to be dependent on your workouts and how much protein you're getting. Thus being the reason why having a protein as part of the 3 pillars of nutrition, even though it is part of calories, is important. Protein is the next pillar of nutrition, okay? Why? You absolutely need it, not just for building muscle, guys, but you also need it to help make sure your hormones are in check. Guys, you don't understand. A lot of you guys have no idea how this stuff works in your body. You have no idea how many people I've heard come to me who are trying to burn body fat who think they're not supposed to be eating a high protein diet because they're trying to burn fat, not build muscle. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? Everyone has to have a high protein diet. Guys, if you look back and see how humans evolved, we are more carnivorous than we are anything else. Okay? We actually can run on, the human body can run off of 0 carbohydrates. It can. It cannot run off of 0 grams of protein. It cannot run off of 0 grams of fat. But it can run off of 0 grams of carbohydrates. okay? That does not mean keto diets are the best way to go about this, because typically people go on a keto diet and then they end up just like using that as an excuse not to track their calories, and they end up not getting the results they want. Or they really struggle along the way anyways. They struggle with sleep. They struggle with whatever the case may be. So we're opportunistic eaters, guys. So we eat whatever we can get, right? We can eat all these things. If you want to get the best benefits out of your diet, you need to incorporate everything. I am not one of those people that's going to tell you to get rid of carbs, right? I'm telling you not to track them. Don't track your fucking carbs. If you're tracking your calories, you don't have to track that shit. If you're tracking your protein, you don't have to track that shit. Okay? This is why the reason I made the 3 pillars of nutrition, guys, because I can explain this, but I promise you, the more I explain it, probably the more you guys are going to be confused, because you haven't been doing this for 15 years like I have. I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been certified for almost 10, right? That being said, like, if you can just focus on tracking your calories, protein, and obviously, I don't think I have to go over water intake, but we'll go over it anyways. Water intake is obviously a huge part of every fitness background of anything you're trying to do, whether you're trying to burn fat, whether you're trying to build muscle, whether you're trying to be more athletic, whether you're trying to have more energy. Water is huge, and people underplay that as well significantly. It's actually a huge contributing factor to heart disease, right? And the reason for that, guys, this is the reason why you'll see people who are actually, they don't look overweight at all, but they end up dying from a heart attack or some kind of heart disease. Well, it's probably because they're not drinking any water a day. And there's plenty of people like that every single day, because there's plenty of people who think they drink enough water, but they don't realize how much they really need to drink in order to not be in these like dangerous zones, right? Half your weight in ounces. If you're 200 pounds, you need at least, and guys, this is not even for optimization. This is the bare minimum to make sure you don't have high blood pressure. You need at least half your weight in ounces. If you're 200 pounds, you need 100 ounces. And this is in pounds, right? So like if you're 250 pounds, you need at least a gallon, maybe even more than a gallon a day. Okay? Like, people underestimate just how much of this stuff you need. This is why I focus on this stuff. And this is why I get my clients the craziest freaking results. It's because we focus on the stuff that's not going to send you down a path that's going to be super confusing and get you nowhere. Whereas, again, I'm not saying that necessarily something like, again, a diet filled with like good, vitamins and minerals is great for you. It is good for you. But if you don't have the foundational aspects set up, it doesn't mean you're not going to die of heart disease first. Okay? That's just the reality. This is the thing that's getting people. Okay, this is the thing that's causing you to not live your life to the optimum. All that other stuff is good, yes, but that should be coming in supplementary, right? Because the reality is, guys, a lot of your foods that you're eating every day is going to have vitamins and minerals in it. Whether or not you're eating whole foods or not, guys, like food is food. Yeah, and this comes down, guys, I'm going to have to do a whole freaking live stream on what even vitamins and minerals are for you guys to understand this. But like, it's not this like mysterious freaking concoction. It's stuff that is in most food. Okay? Like, this is the thing that a lot of people just get off the train. They don't know what they're talking about with this stuff. They just hear something online. And the reality here, guys, is that the reason you are obese is not because you're not getting enough vitamins and minerals. Okay? The reason you're obese is because you're overeating and you're not tracking your shit, and you don't know where to start because you're not tracking your shit. Let's go back to tracking this stuff, okay? A very simple app. You guys are about to get a lot of value if you don't have this app. You should know this app because it's all over the internet. MyFitnessPal tracks all of this shit. Every single bit of this is you can track every single bit of this for free. Please do not buy MyFitnessPal. You guys do not need to purchase the premium. I've been using that app for 15 years to get the craziest results of my life and my clients' life. None of them paid for it. You do not need to pay for that shit, okay? The reason that's super important is that I've had people pay like the whole year's worth of that thing, and then go, and I have to tell them like, oh, I haven't ever paid for that. You don't need it. I probably need it because I use it to help like track my clients' results and stuff when it comes down to their nutrition, to make sure they're actually tracking their shit, right? But that being said, guys, like, you don't have to pay, money. This is all free stuff. This is all very accessible to everybody. Okay, start tracking your foods. And you don't even have to be super accurate at first. Like, I definitely am pretty big to my clients when we're tracking our stuff. Like when we're talking about like, making sure we're weighing our foods out. A lot of you guys are not weighing your foods out. You have to weigh your foods out. Okay, when I say I'm eating 4 ounces of chicken, I can sit here and lie to you all day and say, I know what that looks like. You know I'm lying to you. Okay, none of you guys know what 4 ounces of chicken looks like just by looking at it. You're lying to yourself, and you're going to fuck up your results if you're going to delay your results if you don't start getting that part down, right? So that's another big thing. You got to track this stuff, guys. You can't sit here and enjoy every aspect that we have nowadays, guys. You guys, I see so many people talking about how they talk about how this is like the end of the world. This is the worst time to be alive. This is the best fucking time to be alive. You all live in air conditioning. Go 1 week in the summer without air conditioning. I bet you will fucking take that back. That shit's, I had to do that this summer. My AC went out this summer on the 4th of July weekend, which was on a Friday, mind you. I had to pay $500 to get that shit fixed, and I had to go 4 days without any AC. My house became 93 degrees inside my house at 8 p.m. You're spoiled, okay? Don't sit here and act like this is a hard thing to do to track your calories. This is the best time to be alive. These are sacrifices you have to make if you want to keep optimizing this shit. Okay? Don't sit here and lie to yourself and sit here and say like, oh man, this life just sucks. Life is just unfair. Blah, blah, blah. And yet there are other people out there right now getting these fucking results, going through way worse circumstances than you've ever been through in your life. Like, and you can't track your calories, which takes you a second. It literally takes you less than 60 seconds before you eat your meal to do this stuff. And you can't do that because why? Oh, I don't feel like it. Oh, goodness me. I don't give a fuck. Dude, I'll be in the gym hours at a time. And I'm not even saying, I don't make my clients train hours at a time. You only got to train for 30 to 45 minutes. But to guys, you guys see these results and you think they're just going to fall in your fucking lap like you don't have to fucking work your ass off for it. That shit's crazy, guys. Like, you got it. This is a hard thing to do. Okay, 73% of the I will drop this fact every time so you guys can understand that, like, dude, stop bitching and get to work because this is a hard thing to do. This bitching's not going to get you nowhere. It's not going to do anything for you. Okay, because guess what? 73% of the population is it's not obese. They're overweight. I think it's like 35% of the population is obese, which is fucking nuts. It means 1 in 3 people are obese, which means that's a health problem. That means you probably struggle to go to sleep with sleep apnea. That means that later in your life, and it means you probably are dealing with stuff that includes dealing with high blood pressure, right? Dealing with walking up some stairs and not even being able to catch your freaking breath. And you want to act like this is a bigger problem? You want to act like tracking your calories and weighing your foods out a bigger problem? Are you kidding me? That's crazy, dude. That's literally the definition of delusional. Literally. We got to make sure we're not doing this shit and talking to ourselves this way, guys, because the reason is, like, if 73% of the population's overweight, that means 73% of the population is going to tell you that what you're doing is okay. That 73% of the population is going to enable you to continue making the same mistake over and over and over again and keep you looking in the mirror every night going, man, I wish something would change. Like, dude, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Fuck the rest of the world. Okay? Fuck what everyone else is doing. What about what you want out of life? What about the results you deserve? What about all the hardships? Every time you look in the mirror, every time you look down at your belly, you're tired of what you're fucking seeing. Every time you walk up some stairs, you try and play with your nephew or your kid, you're out of breath. Like, what the fuck about that? Fuck that. Be your own person. Stop listening to what freaking grandma or your family or your friends, because all of these people are people that are probably, as much as you may love them, I'm not dissing my family, right? But at the same time, if I go over to grandma's house, grandma wants to feed me a bunch of cookies and I got to tell her fucking no, okay? That is the reality of a lot of this stuff. You got to be the freaking black sheep here sometimes. And that does mean weighing your food out, being a little bit weird about it. Right? Because it is weird. When 73% of the population is overweight, that means 73% of the population is not doing this stuff. Okay? So we got to make sure we're not getting stuck in that mindset and that you're following this stuff. Right? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you listen to me or not. If you don't do this, right? It doesn't matter if you believe me, rather. If you don't do this stuff, 3 months will pass by and you're still going to look in the mirror and still go play catch with your kid or your nephew or whatever the case may be. You're still going to have all these things that come up into your life that make you want to change. So why not take that action now instead of waiting years, months, like freaking decades before you actually decide to make a decision or before something drastic happens so that you can actually take advantage of the opportunity you have in the greatest period of life that's ever been. Okay? Don't make an excuse for not tracking your calories. Don't make an excuse for not tracking your water intake or not drinking enough water. Like, Just get after yourself about it, right? I'm not saying you got to be perfect. I'm saying stop telling yourself it's okay to not do those things, because it's not. It's hurting you. These things hurt you. Not drinking enough water makes it harder for you to focus at work. It makes it harder for you to listen to your spouse. It makes it harder for you to even clean your freaking house because you can't even get yourself mentally straight, right? Like being obese does the exact same thing. That's what's going to happen if you don't track your calories and protein, and obviously the water. Like, all of these things are for you. Don't forget that. You forget that, that's the exact thing that's going to keep holding you back for the rest of your freaking life. It's the exact, again, guys, this is the thing that I have to stress. Like, it doesn't matter if you believe what I say. 3 months is going to pass by. 6 months is going to pass by. A whole year is going to pass by. 5 years will pass by. You guys remember when COVID started? Remember how short of a time that was ago? Right? It feels like it was just yesterday, right? Yet all that time's passed by. And a lot of you guys have stayed in the exact same fucking place instead of actually taking advantage of the opportunity and getting ahead in life. Imagine how much progress you could have had right now if you started your fitness journey 5 years ago when COVID started. And don't give me that bullshit, oh, shit was closed down. You act like there's not such thing as bodyweight workouts or that you can't track your nutrition even though you're stuck at home. No, shut up with the excuses, okay? Those excuses are keeping you in the exact same fucking spot, guys. It doesn't matter what I say, what I do. The reality is there is time that is going by and there is stuff that is not changing that you are not okay with. So why are we doing that? Right? Because we've all been there looking in the mirror going, my God, why am I still here? Why am I still doing this? Why did I order McDonald's yesterday? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? Instead of just taking it, like biting the damn bullet and saying, you know what? Enough's enough. Enough's enough. I know how bad that feeling is. So I can go ahead and dodge McDonald's for a day. I can go ahead and take the 5 minutes to track my calories. I can go ahead and take the hour out of, instead of watching Netflix or playing video games and playing freaking Madden for the fucking millionth time in 15 years since you graduated high school. Like, I can take that hour away to go to the gym, right? Okay, cool. Because anyone who's not about that is not ready for that. You need to leave, dude. Because, like, I'm going to hammer down on that over and over and over and over and over again. And I will be the black sheep that's fine with people going, oh, my God, that's just too much. No, dude, it's not. Because I'm the healthiest I've ever been. Okay? I'm not struggling with the stuff you struggle with. Right? Like, I don't have to worry about heart disease. I don't have to worry about, playing with my nephews or playing with my dogs or playing with my, hanging out with my family or doing things for my family, being a provider for my family and running out of energy and running out of breath. I don't have to worry about those kinds of things. I got that, Chief. I've made the sacrifices to have that shit. Okay? A lot of people aren't thinking about that. A lot of people are thinking, oh, my life's too crazy. These people don't understand my life. And guys, you're acting like you're not a human fucking being. Okay? We're all human beings. We all got shit going on in our lives. We all got stuff going on. Okay? Even if there's something not quite, like, there's some people that have it worse off than others. Yes. But if you think that people in their life don't just have family members that die throughout their life, if you think that people just don't go through hardships throughout their life, you're crazy. Everyone goes through hardships. It doesn't matter where you are in your life. It doesn't matter how much you have. It doesn't matter how privileged you are. We all go through shit. Okay? And it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, are you going to sit here and compare yourself about who has it worse? Or are you just going to actually be there for people, be a good person, right? Instead of sitting here and go, oh, no, my life's worse. My life's worse than yours, so you should feel sorry for me. Shut up. I want you gone. I will fucking laugh in your face if you say that kind of shit to me in person. Okay? I am not that fucking guy. Okay? I am not your mom. I am not your daddy. Okay, I am here to make sure you get fucking results. That's it. Okay, I'm not here to listen to bitching and moaning about shit that we all go through on a daily basis. I'm not here to listen to you make excuses for why you can't go to the gym and take care of yourself because, oh, it's been a hard day, so I'm going to have myself a little bag of chips. Shut up. I don't care. No, you know how much shit I've been through? Why the fuck should I care about what you've been through? I've got my own life to worry about, right? And this is the reality, guys. You can sit here and act like you care all day for these strangers that you don't know on the internet, but you don't. You just want to make people think you're that kind of person. Stop. Focus on you. Because here's the thing, guys. All you got to do to be a good person, this is the way I view the world, right? All you got to do to be a view person is take responsibility. That's it, right? I've taken responsibility. Guys, do you think I would be here right now if I didn't take that responsibility instead of going out and like focusing on my MMA career? No. Why have I decided to not fight as much as I wanted to fight? Because obviously you guys have seen me. If you haven't, go look at my fucking page. I mean, I used to compete, right? The reason I'm not still doing that, and it wasn't like I was injured. I'm undefeated, okay? It wasn't like I ever got injured. It's because I decided that this is more important. This is me helping people with something that's a very big struggle in this country is more important than entertaining people with my fighting. That was the decision I made. I took responsibility for that because that's the way I view the world. That's what I really think. That is the way I really think. Okay? Otherwise, you guys would not be seeing me. You guys would not be seeing me online on social media whatsoever. Why? Because if you want to be good at MMA fighting, you cannot be both. Okay, you see these other fighters do this kind of shit, like Sean O'Malley, and then you see his ass get fucking knocked the fuck out, right? By someone who's not doing that shit, because it is you got to be that so fucking focused on it. And even then, dude, that dude's paying people to record him and stuff, and I have to do that stuff. I can't pay people for that. I don't have that kind of money, right? Like, this is what people don't understand about this game, man, is that this takes a lot of energy. And again, what I want to get to and what I want to wrap this up with you guys is you got to understand that, like, this is not easy. This is not an easy thing to do, right? So you got to understand and you got to take responsibility for yourself, because if you think that giving away your time is helping more people instead of you having more energy and being the most optimum you can be, you're delusional, right? Guys, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I had to make sure that was empty. You cannot pour out from an empty cup. Okay, you got to fill up your own fucking cup, right? And so with a lot of you guys, a lot of us are saying, oh, I don't have time because, oh, I got to go to work. Or, oh, I don't have time because, oh, I got to take care of the kids. I got to take care of my family. Oh, I don't have time because of this, because of that, because of this. Acting like your health is not going to help that, right? That's the delusion a lot of people are stuck in. Stop saying you don't have time. This kills you if you don't have time. You better make the fucking time. People die every day, dude. People die every single day from this stuff. 400,000 people die a year from obesity-related disease. Okay? This is not a joke. This is not a joke whatsoever. Okay? We got to make sure that you got this shit down and understand the clarity here that this is not something you do as a fucking hobby. This is not a hobby. This is a responsibility. Take responsibility for your life and fucking, guys, you take responsibility for your life. Not only will you fulfill what you want to get done, but you will also take care of people to the best capacity you have ever seen. If you want to be a good provider, if you want to be able to help other people, if you want to be a good person, the best thing you can do is make sure you are at the healthiest you are, or the most optimal health you can possibly be, so that you can do the most. Right? And not sit here and go like, oh, I just don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time to even take care of myself. Oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Stop. Stop living the delusion. You're not making time for yourself. You have time. We all have the same 24 hours, guys. We have to make time for this. You can't sit there and say, I don't have time for this, and then wonder, oh man, I just can't deal with this, like overweight, like wonder what's going on with your body. Like, you know what's going on with your body. You're not getting enough sleep. You're not tracking your calories. You're not drinking enough water. You're never working out. You're drinking alcohol 3 to 5 times a night or 3 to 5 times a week. That's what's wrong. Okay? Like, you don't get to do that stuff and not have consequences. Okay? Listen, I understand it's hard to deal with life without that stuff, right? With everything else that's involved. But I promise you that, like, it's so much greener on the other side. And again, guys, if you guys have seen my transformation, you know I know what it feels like to be that way. So, like, don't sit here and act like, oh, you must be nice. You don't know what it's like. I do know what it's like. I used to be 300 fucking pounds, dude. I used to drink every night. I used to take Xanax 3 times a week. And I'm not talking just a little Xanax. I used to take a lot. We're talking green monsters, motherfucker. Yeah, I know what that is. Those big ones. And I would take like 4 of those hoes and take like 3 or 4 shots of alcohol. Whatever was around me. One time I remember it was like, one time I drank something just to give you, just so you guys understand that, like, I'm not just bullshitting. I used to live this lifestyle. Like, I remember one time when you're on Zen, when you're on, we call them bars. That's the, I don't know if you guys still call them that. We always called them bars. We called them sticks. We called it getting stuck. because you take a few of them, you can't even fucking move, you can't even get up. So we called it getting stuck. And I would take a few of those, and one time, and then obviously if you mix that with alcohol, oh my God, like it's just blackout city. And so I lost a job doing that. But anyways, just to share with you guys, like, listen, I know you guys see me being the way I am now. It's because I've made mistakes, okay? Don't make these mistakes. I get so passionate about this because these are very real situations and very real things. And I want to make sure you guys don't fall for the same fucking traps because they're traps, man. But like, I remember one time I took 3 bars. I think these were what we called yellow school buses. We had very weird names for our substances back then. But I took 3 of those. I remember when you take those, you just don't care, man. You don't care about anything. And so I remember I wanted some alcohol to go with it, and I saw a jar, like one of those handles, like a glass. I think it was like Jim Beam or something like that. And I didn't realize until I took a huge fucking drink of it, but it was thinking about it makes me sick. It was filled with cigarette butts. It was disgusting. I don't hardly remember it. I remember that, and then everything's blackout, right? Like, this is what I mean. Like, I've been there, guys. I understand what it's like to be in these situations. I truly understand what it's like to struggle and go through a lot of these things and get into track with this stuff. But you got to understand the excuses are not helping you. The excuses are not helping in any way, shape, or form. You've got to get that part under control. You've got to stop telling yourself it's okay. It's not okay. You are struggling because it's not okay. But everyone around you will sit there and tell you it's okay. Why? 73% of the population's overweight. They think it's okay too. You got to be the black sheep, dude. You got to be the person that says, I'm not going to be this way anymore. Otherwise, you will stay stuck there. And fuck that. I ain't about that life no more. But anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I'll arrange it. I'll go all over the place with these freaking live streams otherwise if I don't cut it off here. But I am going to be working today on trying to get it to where we can go live on Instagram again. I really hate that we weren't able to go live on Instagram. I'll try and do some like cut ups of the live stream so that way those people can go ahead and get some of that information as well. But I'll see you guys on Tuesday for the next live stream. I think it's going to be Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So expect me around that time. Tuesday and Thursday, roughly around 7 a.m. On Saturdays, roughly around 9 to 10 a.m. So I'll see you guys then.